I'm a little late on volume 18, but you know, obviously I got a good amount of time before we end up getting to volume 19 for Eden Zero. I was gonna say 100 Years Quest, but it's like no. This is like an odd set because I like the last one, but this one, the Rave Master one, is cool because like I like the setup for Haru. It's one of those ones where it's really weird because he's dressed up. I don't think he ever wears this outfit in the series, and we have this version of Plu that's red with all these tattoos. I do like the visual of that Haru is standing there. You know, he's got his eyes in meteor state for his Ten Commandments sword, like resting on the shoulder. He's just looking cool. He's just looking like he's chilling, getting ready for like a battle of some kind, but one that's maybe not too big. I like it. I like the colors. I think the color scheme is probably the best part about the Rave Master one. Well, the Rave Master one really isn't that crazy. Like it's enjoyable, but it's nothing really to really get that hyped up in comparison to the other ones. Now, the Fairy Tail one color wise, I like the most. I think it looks the best in terms of the cleanliness of the shades and how they're kind of all put together. And granted, like obviously the shading differences for each of them is going to vary by what Mashima is portraying, but I really like how it looks for each of the characters in this one. And it also goes off of the, you know, the previous one with Uracio and Sace. They're all lined up. Everyone's kind of set. The only one I remember that was kind of weird was it was like what, like Hot Eye was like put up with, I think with Jura in that one or something, or was it Gray and Midnight? I don't think so. I remember there was just one that was really strange, really, when you compare the volume covers of the previous one, the lineup of like the Fairy Tail members, and I guess Jalal and Jura. But yeah, I like it. I don't think this one did anything that crazy. I think it's just a really solid one. Or like the Eden Zero one, I like the colors used as well. I'm not as much of a fan as like the Fairy Tail volume colors for 18. I will say like the format of the volume I'm not huge on. I like that we get official color palettes for Homura and Wise's Overdrive. I thought that's probably the best part about this one, in perfect honest. I like when we get color schemes for characters and stuff we don't know of, especially forms, because one thing about Overdrive we do know is their ether lines and their hair change colors, so getting confirmation on that is cool here. And I do give it a little bit of a biased push because out of all the Overdrive forms so far, Wise is definitely my favorite in Eden Zero, and we get that on this cover. The only way I think that this could have been like a full home run for Eden Zero, at least from my perspective, would it have been if it focused more on the Overdrives or something in this one, because Rebecca looks good in that outfit, but the setup just isn't that. It doesn't pop that much. It's not as crazy as I think it should have been. But granted, like this area is not a crazy area of the arc. Like this is the fight with some of the oceans, obviously, with like you got Homura, Wise, Sylph, and Jin on there. So in reality, for this one, I mean, it's mostly them just beating up on the oceans and using their overdrives, you know, flexing on them. The next one I think is going to be a little bit more hype, because the next one should be getting into like what Shura territory for Eden Zero. For Fairy Tail, it's the fight with Zero. What happened to Rave Master Volume 19? I'm just pulling up real quick because I really want to know what's on it. Oh, the Rave Master one has lead on it. See, 19 is going to be a hype one. I actually have a lot of hype for Volume 19. This is a solid one. It's nothing too crazy. Just really quick as I further kind of just give my last bits about this one, I'm just pulling up I just want to look at the previous months or previous volumes covers just to kind of get a good idea of in memory of like where I'm basing like the jump from 17 to 18, because I know for Fairy Tail it was one with the Uracio and Sace members. I'm just pulling up everything I need to look at. Eden Zero, oh, it was one with the oceans all standing around. That one was okay, but definitely wasn't too huge on that one. And I think the Rave Master one, what was the Rave Master one? Volume 17. It was just the cast standing around. Like, see, like 17 and 18 were chill. They're nothing amazing, but they were good. I just like the Fairy Tail one. I think is a little bit unfair in that category because the other two both times were all right. But like this is a combo set, and I really like the coloring that Mashima did with the Arasion say setup and this setup with the, you know, the whole team that's going against him. I just really like his palette on this one because visually, the way that these are all set up, none of them have a crazy format. None of these ones have a crazy format. Same thing with 17, 18, none of them crazy formats. The thing that I'll definitely give in this scenario is I do like the color palette style setup of the Fractal one, and it does align more with the previous one. That gives it a little bit of a bonus, because obviously setting up the Razion Sace in the similar format and then the Fractal and ally members that were, you know, pretty much paired up to fight him, I think gives it that little edge. But yeah, I didn't really have a lot to say about this one. This is a pretty easy one. 19, I have a hopes for 19. 19 I think is going to be a really hype volume cover setup. You know, like I said, the Natsu Zero, you have Let and Let his dragon stuff going on, and for Ina Zero it should be, I would assume, Shiki and Shura. And Shiki and Shura that's going to be a really dangerous one, because like Mashima could make that one just cool, or he could make that one super heat just because the nature of that battle. But I feel like he has to do spoilers if he wants to kind of like put too much emphasis on that. And that to me, though, I do like getting the Eden Zero color palettes and stuff on the volume cover, and I wouldn't assume but most people that are buying the volumes probably I've been reading it. But it does, I won't take points away from it, but it does spoil the forms on there a little bit, so it's kind of like a little weird, because it shows Sylph and Jin. I'm guessing their fight with their overdrives isn't in volume 18. It probably just sets it up near the end. But anyway, other than that, comment below, thumbs up the video, but friend, like button, subscribe button, and check out my other videos. And that, I appreciate everybody's already subscribed, and thank you all for listening. Bye.